Hi, my name is Eamon. I'm one of the corporate chefs for Maine's Paper and Food Service, and today we're going to be talking about a very exciting new meat program that you're going to see at your local Main Source store. We call it a block ready meat program. And what block ready means is these pieces of meat are probably a little larger than something that you're used to seeing in the standard butcher case, but actually these are the same products that a lot of your favorite local restaurants are already using. The advantages to you with some of these is it allows you to actually portion these pieces of meat to exactly your specifications. Also, they come fully trimmed and they're ready to cut into portions, which saves you a lot of time, and also you don't need to be a seasoned butcher to prepare these things for yourself at your own house. Today we're going to talk about the brisket flat. Now, you may have seen brisket at your local barbecue joint, or maybe you've had it braised. Certainly I would expect to do the same things with this cut, but there are a couple of advantages to the one you'll find at your Main Source store. Number one, the portion is more reasonable. In other words, you're not buying a big 12 to 14 pound whole brisket covered in fat. This one's already trimmed down. It already has the best part of the brisket for you ready to cook. Now, the other thing you're going to notice on these products is they're all USDA choice, so you can be assured that the quality of the meat is going to be excellent. The other thing that you're going to notice is it's going to have some serving suggestions on the label, and if you peel this label back, it also gives some recipe ideas. So maybe if you aren't familiar with this piece of meat, these will give you something to work with when you start to become more familiar with it. Either way, I think when you start to work with it, I think you're really going to enjoy the quality, and you're also going to enjoy the advantages that it offers you in your home. Now, with a brisket flat, I think probably the best way to prepare this piece of meat would be either braising it or barbecuing it. Now, it's funny, we're up north, but down south, when you say barbecue, they instantly think of brisket. And if you haven't had a chance to try it, I encourage you to get one of these brisket flats and try it in your own backyard barbecuing. One thing nice about Maine's is it has everything that you need right underneath one roof. Our culinary secret spice blends make the perfect dry rubs for pre-seasoning your brisket flat before you actually barbecue it. Now, the other nice thing about this piece of meat, it's a little smaller, so it's not going to take quite as long as a big giant brisket would in your barbecue. When you're barbecuing brisket, it does take a while, but I think you're really going to enjoy the quality of this piece. Now, the other thing you can do with brisket is you can braise it. Now, braising basically consists of searing this piece of meat and then cooking it in slow, moist heat method. And there's a great basic recipe for it inside this label. I like to cook it down with some fresh herbs, celery, carrot, and onion, maybe a splash of red wine, and some beef stock. You cover it, put it in the oven, and let it roast for 2 to 3 hours, or until a fork turns about 180 degrees without any resistance. That's when you know your brisket is done. Bring it out, and a very important step is to let that rest for a good 15 to 20 minutes before you actually try to slice it. Some people like to take the vegetables right out of that braise, slice up some of that brisket, and then serve it right with some of the braising juice. Absolutely delicious, and especially when you season it with some of the culinary secret seasonings. Those are 2 easy ways to enjoy this new block ready meat program that you're going to find at your local Main Source. I really encourage you, if you haven't tried brisket before, you should now. Thank you very much, and until then, happy cooking.